Mr. Mannix,
What's up?
the director can't find Baird Whitlock.
Somebody slipped it under my door.
We have your movie star. Gather $100,000 and await instructions. Who are we? The future.
Anyway, Hail Caesar. Hail Caesar is the latest film by the Coen brothers, who you may know did No Country for Old Men, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Fargo. So, it was alright. In the 1950s, Eddie Mannix, played by Josh Brolin, is head of Capitol Pictures. Right now, Capitol Pictures is making a film called Hail Caesar, a Ben-Hur related movie starring Brad Whitlock, played by George Clooney. However, Brad Whitlock is kidnapped by a bunch of communists who Brad finds out that the studio he works for is full of capitalism. These communists are known as the Future. Eddie wants him back. In the meantime, we have Scarlett Johansson as a Esther Williams type actress, Tilda Swinton as Eddie's secretary, and is also a writer on columns for a newspaper company. Channing Tatum is a Gene Kelly sort of personality named Bird Gurney, I think. There's this actor named Hoppy Doyle, a Southern actor known for Western films. You know, we also have small performances by Wade Fiennes as a film director, and Jonah Hill as Joseph Silverman, a man who works for Mannix. So we have another one of these interconnecting movies, but no, I wouldn't even call it that, because these interconnecting movies at least have, like, a purpose to them, but okay. Let's get to the positives out of the way first. For one thing, how they recreated old Hollywood is pretty good. You know, they sort of, like, they recreated, like, how they did movies at the time, you know, on sound stages and everything. So, I think, in that sense, it works. Also, the performances are actually pretty good. I mean, you have Josh Brolin, Channing Tatum, George Clooney, Tilda Swinton. You know, you have Jonah Hill. You know, you have a great cast in this. So I will admit that the performances on their own is pretty well done. Oh, and not to mention the music is pretty decent too. Now let's get the negatives out of the way, and the rest of this review is just gonna be negative. So okay, here we have a great cast, but little development for them. I mean, what we have here is essentially all these characters coming together, and what purpose do they serve? They don't serve any purpose. My problem is, why couldn't you give them more, like, development? Have them be relatable to the story. Have them connect to the storyline. I mean, these characters have very little in common, outside of, I guess, they're Eddie Mannix's clients. They hardly serve any purpose in the story. The only ones who connect to the story are the Hoppy Doyle character and Bert. Jonah Hill has, like, one scene, and after that he's, like, out of existence. And I gotta tell you, some of these people have little to do, like Ray Fiennes, Jonah Hill. Some of these people have close to maybe 2-3 scenes, and then they're just, like, out of the movie. There might have been something that it was leading up towards, but there's nothing at all. There's just absolutely nothing. And some of it is just, like, weird. Like, you have the Esther Williams type character, you have George Clooney, who is given the most screen time, I might add. I mean, the only real development we have are Eddie Mannix and Brad Whitlock. And as if these two characters are the only ones who connect the storyline. I guess there's, okay, let me see, the cowboy actor guy, I mean, I guess he has a lot to do, I guess, kind of. But I don't even think that's it. I think there's just something there that we're not understanding, and the Coen brothers really could have ironed this out a little bit. They're usually pretty good at ironing things out. Look at the True Grit remake. Yes, I'm not a big fan of remakes, but the True Grit remake is actually different from the John Wayne original. And here's the thing, the writing on that movie was actually pretty spot on. Hail Caesar is just like interconnecting things and little connection to them. And also, I swear, there's this one moment that is just outright ridiculous. The future wants like $100,000 of money. Eddie Mannix provides for money, gives it to the Channing Tatum character, and then later on, there's like this part where Channing Tatum's character Bert, he's on the boat with these communists, and then this Russian submarine comes up, and then it's like, and then Channing Tatum goes on this Russian sub, and then like he somehow becomes a communist too. I don't even know. It's just weird. Like he becomes like a Russian in like a split second. It's just weird. This isn't a comedy. This is not a comedy. It doesn't work as a comedy because it's just not funny. So overall, I would give Hail Caesar a 2.5 out of 5. You're better off just renting it and then giving it a shot. So it's okay. It was just kind of meh. Hey, it could be worse.